They don't spare Wesley at all. And he gets seriously injured. He wakes up in a bath full of paraffin. A guy nicknamed Exterminator is working on his recovery. And he says that these are special regeneration baths. To alleviate his suffering, the man gives Wesley vodka. And he immediately understands that the man is Russian. Is it vodka, yeah? Are you Russian, yeah? Firearms training also takes place in an unusual way. Wesley has to learn to fire curved bullets. Not only with a straight trajectory. Such a fascinating work repeats day in, day out. Is beaten to a pulp. Then healed eventually. Another corpse of a fraternity member is brought. It's the Word of Cross who eliminates them one by one. According to Sloan, only Wesley can stop him. A bit later, Fox asks the guy to catch a shuttle that moves at a tremendous speed. Inside the weaving loom, he tells her to put a gun to his head to stimulate his reaction. But Fox replies that he has to learn to control himself. Wesley fails and he just hurts his hand. During the recovery procedure, the Russian shows him a trick with a rat. He mounts a miniature explosive device on a rodent. And he lures it to a safe place with peanut butter. The rat explodes. The man says Wesley's father loved the trick. The guy asks if he's okay, and what they've done to him since he behaves somewhat weird. Meanwhile, Fox climbs out from the nearby bathtub, and he tells Wesley to follow her to the training. This time she starts to beat him to a pulp herself. And he asks the same question. Why he's here and why he's wasting her time. Finally Wesley gives the only right answer. He wants to know who he really is. He is brought to Sloan, who tells him about his father, saying that he was the best of them. And he shows his belongings in room. Wesley puts on his father's jacket. And he resolves to measure up to him at all costs. His training now becomes meaningful, as his goal is to avenge his father. All hardships seem insignificant to him. He easily stands any bullying. And he absorbs loads of information about his enemy. He trains day and night, with the fanaticism of the Shaolin priest. He makes short work of the knife master. The trainer who beats him broke his bones against Wesley's head. Then came Wesley's turn to beat him up. The only thing he couldn't handle was to curve a bullet. Fox decides to help him with this. And he stands before the carcass to motivate the guy. Feeling huge responsibility, Wesley manages to curve the bullet around her head. And he hits the spool ring. Now it's time for his first assignment. Sloan leads him to the loom. It turns out that they learned the names of their targets from the fabric made by the loom of fate. Their ancestors from the fraternity deciphered a secret code that allows transforming thread irregularities into a binary sequence, which is then used to make up the names. Wesley gets the name of his first target. Fox is accompanying him on this mission. Reading on the train roof, they approach the target. But Wesley can't fire. He closes his eyes. And he remembers their dialogue with Fox. A day earlier, he asked her how it was possible to take someone's life by order of some fabric. Fox then told him the story of a little girl whose father was a judge principled and incorruptible. At some point, he was dealing with a case of a high-profile criminal. The defendant wanted some other judge, and he sent a killer named Max Patrick to his house. This killer burned his victims alive, and he forced their relatives to watch it, after which he carved his initials on their bodies, so that they would never forget this nightmare. When Fox joined the fraternity, she found out that the loom revealed Max Patrick's name a few days before the murder of the judge, and one of the members had failed to pull the trigger. That is why the fraternity's motto is, kill one and save satu komano. After telling this story, Fox left, and Wesley saw Max Patrick's initials on her neck. Wesley opens his eyes, and he decides to kill the businessman by firing a curved bullet. He gets one mission after another, and each time he hopes that Cross's name will come up on a new mission. He can't kill a businessman on his own. while the target is moving in an armored limousine. Then Fox helps him by setting up her sports car as a springboard. By making a somersault above the limousine, the young Padawan manages to shoot the target through the open sunroof after the mission. They go to Wesley's house. Tigrep the goon, hidden in the toilet, seems like his friend. Betty now lives in his apartment with Wesley's girlfriend. Wesley knocks out Betty by performing a Megeri on the door, and he heads straight to the toilet, while his girlfriend slings muck at him. Fox gets tired of hearing her screaming, and he decides to improve the status of the guy in the eyes of his ex. She gives Wesley a passionate kiss, and the couple leaves. Betty tells Wesley in his wake he's a man. Wesley on the street when Fox went to steal a car. Wesley sees Cross. He opens fire, but Cross manages to repel Wesley's shot with his bullet. The chase after Cross begins, with other members of the fraternity joining. At an abandoned building site, Wesley accidentally shoots Exterminator. While he stands shocked by his mistake, Cross shoots a curved bullet from around the corner, hitting the guy's shoulder. Wesley wakes up in the recovery room. He sees how they are trying to save the Russian bro, but fail and the Exterminator dies. Luckily, the bullet removed from his shoulder is the first one that can be traced. It was made by Pequaski. He works in a monastery in Eastern Arabia. The fraternity realizes that this is a specially prepared trap, and they don't want him to go alone. But Wesley manages to convince them that he's ready. Finally, Sloan gives him the canvas with Cross's name on it. When Wesley leaves, Sloan gives Fox the canvas with Wesley's name, and he orders her to kill him when he's done with Cross. The guy arrives at the monastery and he found Pequaski. The man pretends to be running, but then he manages to lure Wesley into a trap. Fortunately, Fox, who was watching Wesley, arrives to his aid. Wesley shows the bullet, and he asks where they can find the owner. Pequaski promises to arrange a meeting with him. He brings them to the train station. Pequaski is waiting for Cross, while Fox and Wesley sit in ambush. Suddenly, the old man starts to run away. The couple chases him down with his side Fizan. Wesley notices Cross in the car. He jumps on the train while Fox pursues Pequaski. The train leaves and Fox realizes that Wesley is now face to face with Cross. She takes a decrepit Soviet car from an old couple. Kowalski calls Cross, and he reports that Wesley is on the train on his own. Cross grabs the guy and he wants to tell him something, but Fox manages to catch up with the high-speed train in her rusty shitbox, which is apparently tuned, and he opens fire on Cross. A shootout breaks out in the train, while Cross only repels bullets fired at him. The Fox's hoop tie rams the train, after which the train derails, and he hangs on the bridge like a sausage. Wesley almost fell into the abyss, but Cross managed to grab him. Sacrificing his life, the guy shoots his enemy, and the whole car falls off, and he gets stuck in the gorge. Before his death, Cross tells Wesley that he is his father, and the fraternity lied to him all the time. Wesley asks Fox if it's true, and she confirms Cross's words. Wesley is the only one Cross would not kill. The other members just couldn't get to him. The guy learns that his name was also revealed by the loom, and he manages to escape from Fox by shooting the glass. He falls into the river together with his father's body. Wesley wakes up in the recovery bath in the house, across the street from his former home. The guy hears his girlfriend telling her girl on the phone how disturbed she is by fooling away such a great guy. Pequaski tells how his father was always around, and he watched his life. He didn't want his son to take this bloody path, and he tried to prevent him from meeting with the fraternity of weavers. Pequaski gives him a piece of fabric with Sloan's name. It turns out that the loom revealed his name. Andy Sloan hid this. Cross learned that one began to use the deciphered codes for his own selfish purposes, so he left the fraternity and he promised to destroy it. Wesley finds a secret passage in the closet,